Those are the wild card contenders, but a lot will change before this day is over. Could happen right here at Giant Stadium. Last week in San Francisco, as the 49ers sewed up the NFC's Western Division Championship, Scott Brunner, the Giant quarterback, suffered 3 interceptions. Not all his fault. That one bounced off the hands of Tom Mulledy and was picked off by Dwight Hicks. In the meantime, the Giant defense has kept them in wild card contention. Bill Neal, a surprise, has been one of the leaders on defense. We'll watch number 77 today. In the meantime, in Pittsburgh, the Los Angeles Rams suffered one of the most frustrating days in their history. Shut out by the Steelers. This is one of the interceptions thrown by Pat Hayden, picked off by Jack Ham. It was on that play that Hayden was injured. Here's how it happened. The Rams think this was a quip, and indeed they might be right. Hayden injured his shoulder. There was some doubt about whether or not he'd be able to play today, but he will start at quarterback as the Rams beat the Giants.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Los Angeles Rams against the New York Giants.
Calling it the Meadowlands might be a little bit misleading today because it hardly resembles anything like a Meadowland. Winds up to 40 miles an hour for the match between the Rams and the Giants. And good afternoon. I'd like to be able to say that. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden, but it isn't a good afternoon. 40-mile-an-hour winds, John, that's got to affect the football game.
It'll affect the game. As we see the flags here in that wind, there's no way when they're going against the wind that they can have any pass offense at all. So the team that has the wind has to make something happen when they have it, because when they get against it, Pat, they won't be able to throw the ball today.
You saw those standings, the wild card possibilities a little bit earlier. The Giants do have a chance, a mathematical chance of being in the playoffs, and a winning season, I think, perhaps means a little bit more to them. I don't want to minimize what the Rams are trying to accomplish, but I think it means more to the Giants.
I think it would mean a lot more to the Giants, because if they could have a break-even or a winning season, then that'd be a big thing for them. It'd be something that they could hang their hat on, improvement. You know, we were a lot better this year and really look forward to next year. Now, the Rams, they have to be down because they're always thinking playoffs. They're thinking Super Bowl contention. This year, they're really out of it. So I would say that the motivation today has to be on the side of the New York Giants.
John, you look right now at Pat Hayden, who will start at quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. Cold, windy. As I mentioned, winds of up to 40 miles an hour. The Rams will kick off. Frank Corral. And he'll have that substantial wind at his back. Danny Pittman standing in the middle back for the Giants, number 82. And Corral has the ball blow off the tee, and that's going to be happening a lot this afternoon.
They'll probably end up having someone hold the ball for them, like they do on an extra point or a field goal.
A very unique situation has arisen in that the Rams, John, won the toss and chose to kick off.
So that means in the second half now, the Giants will have the choice, and they can either receive again or kick off themselves.
Corral does have someone hold. The ball soars way deep into the end zone. The Giants wisely do not bring it out. Mike Dennis stays back in there. The Giants will take over. First down at their own 20. Here are the Giant offensive backs and receivers. Brunner, the quarterback. Ike Forte and Rob Carpenter, the runners. Mike Freedy and Johnny Perkins, the wide receivers. But going in this direction, it'll be tough to put anything in the air. Gary Shirk, the tight end. Weston Ard, Clack Turner, and Gordon King, the offensive front. We'll check the Ram defense in just a minute. They play with 4 down linemen. First and 10 at the 20. Right ahead is Rob Carpenter, a couple. You look at that Ram defense and the great names that they have had and still have in that unit. Jack Youngblood, Mike Fanning, Reggie Dawson, Cody Jones up front. And you wonder why their record is not better than it is. Those are the linebackers. And the secondary, Leroy Irvin starting in place of Pat Thomas, Perry, Johnson, and Cromwell. A lot of talent there. Second down 8. Busted play. everybody went the wrong way, including the ball carrier, Jim Youngblood. Takes down Scott Bruner. Tough day to play football.
It is a tough day, and I'll tell you, the other thing is the team that is going against the wind like the Giants are, they can't afford to have a mistake because, you know, like that type of thing or an interception or fumbles or anything, because it would be a big plus to have the win plus good field position.
Ivory Sully and Lucius Smith come into the Ram defensive alignment. It's going to be awfully hard to throw anything in this direction. Scott Bruner. Johnny Perkins in motion. Bruner drops. Throws and overthrows. Intended, I believe, for either Perkins or Carpenter. But no chance. Too hard. And the Giants' Dave Jennings will have to punt.
Now, this is going to be fun to watch, Pat, is this punt. I was watching him in the pregame warm-up, and they were only punting the ball about 25 or 30 yards. He's not going to have that average on this punt, that 44.1.
He'll have to wait until they change into the field to work on his average. Leroy Irvin, a very dangerous punt returner, standing back at his own 45-yard line. Jennings waiting for the snap. It is a good one. Line drive kick should be returned. Irvin handles cleanly. Leroy Irvin gets back into Giant territory to the 46 before Frank Marion makes the hit. It'll be first down Rams in good field position, and maybe that decision to kick off will pay off early dividends. Here's the Ram offensive unit. Hayden, the quarterback. Mike Gooman starting at fullback in place of Cullen Bryant. Wendell Tyler, Denard, and Billy Waddy, the wide receivers. The offensive line sort of remade. You can see some strange names in there. And we'll check the Giant defense in just a minute. Tyler is the deep back. Wendell Tyler, perhaps a yard hit by Gary Jeter. Here is the Giant three-man front, McGriff, Neal, and Jeter. The linebackers, Byron Hunt starting in place of Brad Van Pelt. Ryan Kelly, Carson, and Lawrence Taylor. And the secondary, and they're playing well too, Haynes, Jackson, Courier, and Beasley Riggs. Bernard and Waddy both wide to the left. That's Gooman swinging in motion. Hayden brings back to Wendell Tyler. Tyler with some room. First down Rams inside the 35 to about the 34. Beasley Reese stripped him up.
That was one of those deals where the defense overreacted. We'll see it again here, and you watch the Giant defense. Now watch them. They all go out here to the left. You see them to the left. Now watch back here. See Jeter overplayed the thing. Tyler started to the right, and boom, had big room back to the outside.
First down Rams. Giant 32-yard line is the line of scrimmage. 2 men in motion. Can't do that.
Penalty, Jimmy.
Here's Tyler again tripped up. Penalty markers all over the place as the Rams had 2 in motion and Tyler's down. Wendell Tyler took a pretty good hit on the play that's going to be called back, I'd think, and he's still down. Harry Carson made the contact that caused Tyler to stay down.
Now, we were talking about the Rams and they're not having the year that they expected. And one of the strengths of the Rams has always been that offensive line. And Rich Saul, the center, is the only player that has started every game because Dennis Hara is not playing today, did not start. That's Bill Bain at right guard.
Illegal motion. 2 men moving. Refused. Holding. Number 61. Accepted. First down.
Rich Saul, the man that John Madden was just talking about, is the violator. Today's officials, Fred Silva is the referee, and the rest of his crew we'll get to in just a minute. Tyler is out of the game. Jewel Thomas is in. Tyler appeared to be okay when he came out. And Hayden starts Gooman in motion again. Hayden will throw if he has time. He gets it outside to Jewel Thomas. Penalty marker down, and Hayden is still down back. Hayden was hit, I believe, by Gary Jeter after he let the ball go. That's where the flag went down.
That's right, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be roughing the passer. That'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Giants, and of course that gives them that'll get them in position. It'll give them a first down and give them the field position again.
John, I don't know how you feel about it. I think I do, but cold weather, rain, All the other adverse elements I could tolerate as a player.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
But wind was the worst thing, I thought.
I think wind is the only thing that you can't control in a football game. You know, cold weather, you can get warm. Even wet weather, you can still play a good football game if you can keep the footballs dry. But wind, you just can't play going in one direction.
Wendell Tyler back in the contest for the Rams. This time it's Gooman over the right side, spinning down to about the 16. Bill Courier made the stop.
You know, talking about the cold, when we went to the Ram practice yesterday, to a person, they were all talking about the weather. You know, I don't know that you ever get used to this, but I know if you're from Los Angeles, you sure aren't used to it.
The only person that I can think of who might be used to it is Bud Grant.
But he's not from Los Angeles.
Not in a long time. Second down. They need 4 from the 16. Gooman in motion. This is Tyler. Wendell Tyler hurdles down for a first down to about the 9-yard line, perhaps the 10. Beasley Reese made the stop. That's a pretty good idea. You get that as you look at Ray Perkins and what kind of day it is.
Watch this again. It's just a little cutback. You see, this is one thing that they can do on artificial turf. They can start that move, and they can make those little quick moves when they see an opening or a soft spot in the defense.
Good block by Saul to set up that gain, and first down for the Rams. It'll be first and goal, I believe. This is Tyler again. Wendell Tyler bangs down inside the 5 to about the 4 before, once again, Beasley Reese has to make the tackle. Don't forget he's a safety man.
That's right. That's always an indicator of how your run defense is doing, the number of tackles that a safety has to make. You like most of those tackles, of course, to be made by the line or linebacker.
On the tackle, ball on the floor.
Phil Tabor's come into the Giant defense. Brian Kelly goes out. So they'll go with a 5-man front now. In this goal line situation, second down and goal. They cannot make the first down. They have to score. This is Mike Gooman. And Gooman gets to about the 2 before he's knocked down. Beasley Reese again on the bottom of that pile. You know, John, the Rams have scored 27 touchdowns all year long, and Wendell Tyler has scored 14 of those, over half.
I know. Wendell Tyler is the leading scorer in the NFC, and with this third down play, I would bet that the ball will go to Wendell Tyler. They just brought in 3 tight ends, so they're in a goal line run offense.
Walt Arnold, Phil McKinley, and Lewis Gilbert all in the game at the same time. It's third down from the 2, and this is Tyler. That will be his 15th touchdown of the year. Wendell Tyler makes it look easy. Rams break on top very quickly. First time they get the ball, they drive for a touchdown. Corral will try for the extra point. Nolan Cromwell is his holder.
Watch this. They ran to the strong side. You see Bill Bain, 62 pull here. He got just a little bump that he needed on Harry Carson, just enough to let Wendell Tyler get into the end zone.
That's a block by Gooman.
Watch here. We see Bain come out. He just turns out there. Now Gooman, right, the fullback, 44, did a good job of kicking out on the outside to give Tyler the lane.
Nolan Cromwell holding. Corral, the only man in the NFL who does both the punting and the place kicking, makes it Los Angeles leading the Giants 7-0. 9:31 left to play in the first quarter, and the Rams move out on top.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where'd he go?
The view
I think he's lost.
must
He
say
always
something
gets
more
lost.
somehow.
Hey, anybody miss me?
Tonight,
Take a look at this.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
And here's to our travel agent.
Even Santa shops Radio Shack's spectacular Christmas sale.
This realistic 40-channel CB would be great in my sleigh. Instant switching to emergency information channels on sale for $69.95. And Radio Shack's Deluxe Pocket Calculator, perfect for adding up my toy inventory. Large, bright display and 4-key memory on sale for $14.95.
I knew these would make Santa happy.
Even Santa's Christmas dreams come true. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
At the Meadowlands Giant Stadium, in the event you might have just joined us, 40-mile-an-hour winds are the order of the afternoon. You look at the deep man for the Giants, Danny Pittman, standing at his goal line, and you can see from that things are pretty well stretched out. That was the Rams scoring drive. They lead 7-0. Tyler the touchdown, his 15th of the year. Took him 8 plays. Here's Corral to kick it. Over in the direction of Mike Dennis. And Danny Pittman takes it instead. Pittman looking for someplace to go, cuts upfield outside the 20 to the 27. George Andrews made the stop. Rams will go on defense, and the Giants operating against that fierce wind with Scott Brunner at quarterback. Next Saturday, the NCAA on CBS. Wake Forest against Marquette, USC against Long Beach State. 1:30 Eastern, and the rest of next Saturday. The NFL today has the Minnesota Vikings against Detroit. A game that could be very, very significant. First down, Giants.
Those guys can handle that cold weather.
Brady was in motion. Bruner's handoff is to Rob Carpenter. And he got about 3 right straight up the middle before he stripped up by Mike Fanning.
You know, it's interesting watching a Giant bench here, Pat, and how Coach Perkins, they're watching the time now. That's 9:06 in the first quarter because they want to get this quarter over so they can get the ball going with the wind and get this part of it over and hold Los Angeles down.
Winds like this, all the preliminary preparation and game plans can go right out the window because the conditions dictate what you can do. 2 tight ends. Here's Brunner. Outside Carpenter over his head. Carpenter wasn't sure. He thought it might have been a lateral, but it was a forward pass.
You know, you're right. It looks like the feeling on both of these teams here is just a feeling of survival, trying to survive. Now, he was looking for his tight end. You see, he had Shirk there. He wasn't open, and he had to turn and come off to Rob Carpenter, and he just threw it a little high.
Saw Carpenter chasing. He thought it could possibly have been a lateral. It wasn't. It was a forward pass, 3rd and 6, and here's their efficiency. That's not quite effective enough. That's Perkins going back in motion. Brunner, the quarterback. Youngblood leaps offside. Brunner staying in the pocket, finally throws outside and throws it away in the direction of Carpenter.
Oh, that was a bad one. That's one of the time it looks like the Giant pass receiver stopped running because that's one time you get a free play. When the defense jumps offside like that and the whistle doesn't blow, you get a free play. Even if you throw an interception, it comes back again. But it looks like someone saw him offsides and everyone stopped running their pass pattern.
Defense, number 85. Offside. 3rd down.
Even with the penalty, it's still not enough for a first down as Jack Youngblood, the veteran from Florida, is the man who jumped offside.
Big thing about that penalty, though, it takes the Giants out of a passing situation and puts them into a possible run situation to pick up a first down.
Ike Forte and Rob Carpenter behind Scott Brunner. They operate with 3 tight ends. Beg your pardon, it's Leon Perry. Not Forte. Carpenter, with his second effort, got the first down. He didn't have it in the beginning. Now he does. George Andrews made the tackle. First down, Giants.
Carpenter lost his left sock. Look at that. They got everything. They didn't get him, but they got that left leg of his because, as you say, he was stopped on that first effort, and he just kept going and made the first down.
Rob Carpenter. What an addition he's been to this Giant team. Most impressive numbers since Ron Johnson. And that's Carpenter again. Stopped by Mike Fanning.
You know, the one thing that Carpenter has done is let the Giants use this formation that they just used there with the 2 tight ends. And I think that's been a real good thing for them. The 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, only 1 back in the backfield. And when you do that, you need a runner like Rob Carpenter who can pick up something and feel holes and pick up yardage with 1 back.
It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 42. Forte is back with Carpenter now. Ike Forte. Gets one tackle, gets to the outside, got some room. Ike Forte, a Giant first down in Ram territory, knocked out of bounds at the 42 by Andrews again.
This is one thing about the Rams that have really changed. They used to be the toughest team in the league to run against. But now watch him here. Again, you see Forte starts out to the middle, missed tackle there, just bounces outside, get everyone caught up inside, and he picked up a first down. You never used to be able to do that against the Rams.
There's some different people on that defense. First down, Giants at the Ram 43, they say. Los Angeles leading 7-0. Giants trying to stay alive in that playoff picture. Here's Forte again. Perhaps a yard by Carl Eckern. Tripped him up.
You know, those two first downs were big first downs for the Giants because they can change or control field position here.
The Eagles staggering a little bit of late. Trail Washington 6-0, a 6-yard, beg your pardon. Washington leads 6-0. 6-yard run by Joe Washington.
The Eagles have lost 2 in a row. I wouldn't expect them to lose 3 in a row.
Redskins can move it, however, of late. Second down, 10 at the 43. This is Carpenter to the outside. Some room, breaks one tackle. Jim Youngblood took him out of bounds after about 4.
That was Leroy Irvin, who's taken the place of Pat Thomas, and he came up to tackle, and he just didn't wrap his arm, so Carpenter was able to pick up a couple more yards. You know, yesterday Ray Perkins was telling us that he wants to get in at least 3rd and 6. He never wants to be 3rd and more than 6 yards to go on first down, because he thinks if they were 3rd and 6 that they can pick up every first down in that situation. Those are strong words.
They are strong, but there's some strong winds to go along with that. I think that might change. Here's Brunner. Chased by Fanning. Pass off the hands of Ike Forte.
I'll tell you, these fans are booing now because they know what, you know, last week the Giants dropped 8 passes in their game, and I think before that they probably lead the league. They don't keep stats on it, but they probably lead the league in drop passes.
4th down. They still need 6. It looks like they're going for it. Bruner's still in the game. And again, he's looking over to the sideline for some kind of help, and now he's going to take a timeout.
I think he was looking to see the punt team come in. With this wind, it wouldn't be a bad play to punt the ball. I don't know if you want to go on 4th down here, because if you don't make it, then you're giving the Rams 1 good field position and 2 the win.
Brunner over talking to Ray Perkins at the moment. The indecision. There's Dave Jennings off to the left with the big red mittens on. Rams lead 7-0.
Subaru owners have a lot in common besides all the different models they own, with front-wheel drive or on-demand 4-wheel drive. They also share a habit of trading in one Subaru for another Subaru. No leading import is higher than Subaru in owner loyalty. People stick with a car they don't get stuck with. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Jim and I are going to go take a look at the Melrose house. When you choose Nationwide Insurance, your Nationwide agent has partners, claims adjusters for your home.
Boy, what a mess. Looks like it started in the basement.
Your car and your business.
Header panel, transmission cooler, AC. Backyard, there's just
Agents and adjusters working together. It's all part of Nationwide's blanket protection.
Nationwide is on your side.
You have questions. We're going after the answers on the CBS Evening News.
John, what could be Ray Perkins' reason for going on 4th and 6 here this early?
Probably just that he wants to keep the ball and not let the Rams have it with the wind.
Brunner will throw. He does have time. The pass is incomplete. But a penalty marker goes down. Let's see what that is.
It's probably holding against the Giants, and Rams will turn it down and take the ball.
Offense, holding, number 35, refused. First down.
Indeed, you're right. Ike Forte was the violator. And the Rams take it over 1st and 10. We have 6:21 still left first quarter. Second time the Rams have had the ball. The Giants picked up a couple of crucial first downs. Bought them some time against the wind. Pat Hayden, the quarterback for Los Angeles. Tyler and Booman, the runners. Tyler's the only runner right now. And he's a dandy. Maybe 4. Curtis McGriff made the stop. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update.
Pat and John, we may have an upset in the works. Ron Jaworski fumbled. Redskins recover. They march in. Joe Washington gets the score from 6 yards out. They miss the extra point. That, though, could be critical. Back now to Pat and John.
The wind is the critical factor here at the Meadowlands at Giant Stadium, Brent. The Rams have it right now. And they're back. Billy Waddy goes in motion. Hayden drops the throw. Lots of time in the pocket. He has Grumman for a moment. Dropped it incomplete. Bill Courier, the Giant defender.
Let's watch this in the middle here now. Bill Neal and the job that he's been doing. You see, it takes 2 to block him in there. Saul starts, has help from the guard on Kent Hill, but that's all a nose tackle. When you only have a 3-man rush, all he has to do is get about 4 yards penetration into the quarterback's face, which he did on that play.
And he's done it consistently throughout this year. Here's Pat Hayden again. The numbers for him this year. 9 TDs, 12 intercepts. Giants on a blitz. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. Hayden rolls away from it. Gets away from it momentarily, and Hayden's going to run. Hayden dives inside Giant territory. That should be enough for a first down. They had him. They lost him.
You know who that was? That wasn't Lawrence Taylor's. We'll see it again. Now we'll watch Lawrence Taylor come from the right. He flushes him out. Gary, see Taylor there? Now Jeter's supposed to be right outside him, and when he got outside of Jeter there, number 70, there was no one out there. Hayden saw all green carpet, and he could get there to the first down marker, do a little slide out of bounds. You don't slide much on this artificial turf stuff, do you? Boom, that had her.
Grabs fast.
Yeah. Grabs hard.
That's Gooman getting down to about the Giant 45. The middle of their defense stacked him up. Anytime Hayden takes off, you sort of hold your breath after he was hurt last week.
Yeah, you sure do. Watch Neal in the middle there. You know, the big thing they want to do in the middle on that run is just not get knocked back. Don't get blown off. Just hold the middle solid so that those inside linebackers can do their work.
2nd and 6 from the 45 for Los Angeles. They lead 7-0 already. 4:55 left first quarter. Count. Hayden to Tyler. Randall Tyler near a first down, about a half-yard shy before Harry Carson stacked him up.
You know, one of the big differences in Wendell Tyler this year, and he's probably one of the pluses in this Ram year, is that he looks a lot stronger this year.
San Francisco beating Cincinnati. A 4-yard pass from Joe Montana to Bill Ring. 49ers continue to be tough. New England 7, Miami nothing. Kavanaugh to Hasselbeck.
You never know, do you?
A lot of unpredictable things going on. Here is Wendell Tyler for the Ram first down. Knocked backwards just a bit, but he got enough. Lawrence Taylor hit him. That should be a first.
That's what I was saying. You know, they use Wendell Tyler now in all the running situations, not only the first down, but they also use him in the short yardage situation. There's a Giant down in the field.
That's Curtis McGriff, who plays so well against the run. Interesting the things that Ray Perkins was telling us about him yesterday. Right now he's in agony.
We were talking to Ray Perkins and asking why he wasn't drafted higher and why everyone didn't know him. But he said, well, when he was in college and when he first came here, he was too lazy. He said he wasn't a good player. And then in the off season, he really went to work, and he's really in great shape. Now watch him on the left part of the screen here. See right up there in the top, number 76, we see him. They start an influence block, go to the outside. Now what happens, Rich Saul, the center, went into his right leg. He was blocking Bill Neal, and Neal just rode him down, and he wasn't blocked. He was run into by Saul.
You could see that leg cave in as he got hit from the side. George Martin has taken his place as Ray Perkins looks on from the sideline. He looks like he's well equipped, but he doesn't look very warm, does he? Rams 7, the Giants nothing.
This roomy, inexpensive Subaru station wagon not only goes far on a gallon of gas, it also goes almost anywhere on a gallon of gas, thanks to front-wheel drive. But if you want more traction than our wagon with front-wheel drive, we suggest our wagon with on-demand four-wheel drive. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox. Then one day...
this compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. It's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know, it's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox.
The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
McGriff is out, Martin is in. There goes Curtis McGriff. That's not a very encouraging sight, is it?
It sure isn't. That's the most difficult thing, those knee injuries.
Here is Hayden, and that one just took off. Sometimes it can be very difficult to throw with the wind.
As you say, it took off. You know, he got it up there in the air, and just boom, it just got it, and he darn near threw it. He darn near threw it over the goalpost and got caught up there in that jet stream.
They said he couldn't throw deep.
He sure can when he has this wind with him. I think I could throw deep.
1 out of 3 for 4 yards. The Rams have the football with 3:47 left first quarter. They lead 7-0. Line of scrimmage, the Giants 38. A lot of things can happen today as far as looking ahead to what happens in the playoffs. A lot of key matchups. We'll keep you up to date on those. Hayden fumbles a snap from center. He got it back.
He was talking to Rich Saul on that play about did Saul center it too soon or did he leave too soon. There's Ray Malavasi, the head coach of the Rams. He's used to this weather. You know he lived right across the river in Clifton, New Jersey. He was brought up.
Just about 5 minutes away from here.
He's been gone for a long time.
The early word on Curtis McGriff is that he has a torn ligament. It didn't take him long to diagnose that. Here's Hayden, penalty marker down. Hayden throws over the middle. Billy Waddy. Preston Denard, I beg your pardon.
Well, it was Billy Waddy who was in motion. Now you could come in motion before the ball snapped, but he started forward before the ball was snapped, so it'll be against the Rams, illegal motion. They'll bring that one back and do it over again 5 yards deeper.
They did not have enough yardage for a first down, about a yard shy of that. I would think, though, that if they consider field goal, Corral could get it there from here easily with the wind at his back. So they do accept the penalty. Fred Silva.
Offense, number 80. Illegal motion. Third down.
Okay, now 80, Billy Waddy is coming here in motion. See, now he starts upfield before the ball snapped. Now he can come in motion, but you can't start forward until the ball's centered.
Denard and Waddy both come wide to the left. Drew Hill, another wide receiver. They'll split out wide to the right. Here's Martin chasing Hayden. He gets away again. And finally, Bill Neal is the first man there. And Jeter helped him out. And the Rams will have to punt.
That's what you need. George Martin beat his man. He was being blocked by Doug Smith. He beats Doug Smith. Now then, you know, Pat Hayden is great at this. This is one thing that he can do. Now, see from his right side, see Martin come here. He feels that, makes a little step in, and now Bill Neal says, you got away from him. You're not going to get away from me, Pat. And the thing that Bill Neal did is he didn't leave his feet. Stayed on his feet.
Number 3 is Frank Corral. Leon Bright back deep for the Giants. Almost got away from Corral. He does get the kick off. It's a funny-looking kick, but it's very effective. Goes out of bounds inside the Giant 10, about the 9, where the Giants will take over still against that vicious wind.
That's the thing. It's like that pass of Pat Hayden's on a kick. The only thing you have to do is get it off. Watch here. The wind will do the rest of the job. Boom, a little sidewinder, gets it up there in the wind, and there it goes.
If you've ever had the feeling you had to wait forever for a Subaru station wagon, here's good news. They're available now with on-demand four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. But because of Subaru mileage, Subaru sticker prices, and Subaru durability, better see your Subaru dealer soon before they start disappearing again. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Even if you use unleaded regular gas, you're probably burning more octane than you have to. That means you may be spending more money than you need to.
We're doing something about it.
At Sunoco, we give our customers a choice. They can use our unleaded economy. It's got all the octane most cars need. Costs less than our regular, and only Sunoco has it.
With Sunoco's economy, I know I'm getting economy.
We're doing something about it.
Saturday, get into the spirit with NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. Wake Forest meets Marquette, and USC takes on Long Beach State in regional action. Saturday on CBS Sports.
The Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing at Giant Stadium. Giants have the ball. Scott Brunner, their quarterback. 1st and 10 from their own 9. Perkins in motion. And off Ike Forte, who dives out for 3 or 4 outside the 10 to about the 12 before Reggie Doss tripped him up. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Giants and the National Football League is prohibited.
So the Giants went for it on 4th down, and of course they didn't make it. The Rams got the ball, and it really hasn't hurt the Giants as far as the score because the Rams didn't score, but it did hurt them in this poor field position.
In a minute 45, they'll have the wind at their back. Carpenter really just as the hole opened at the line of scrimmage. Hit by George Andrews, and he will hit.
That was one of those counters that didn't work. We'll see Carpenter here. He'll take a little step to the left. You see, he'll start out to the left to hold him. It didn't, and Rogers saw that, and he came from his right side linebacker and made the play. He didn't go for the counter fake.
Ram coaches signaling frantically just a minute ago for that Ram defense to call a timeout. They want to take advantage of that wind as much as they can. I hate to belabor that point about the wind, but it really is dictating what's going on the football field.
As you say, they would like to get the ball at least one more time before they lose this win.
You look at the Central Division of the NFC momentarily here. Here's what's happening right now. Minnesota, Detroit, and Tampa Bay all at 7-6. So is Atlanta. Atlanta is playing at Tampa today.
You know,
a lot of things can change.
Excuse me, Pat. You know, of all these teams, I think Detroit is probably playing the best of them all at this time.
Ray Malavese. A lot of family, a lot of friends here today.
And that's Lionel Taylor there with him. We played against him for years when he was with the Denver Broncos. In fact, he played with the Raiders for a year.
Next Sunday, a doubleheader here on CBS. NFL Today begins it all, of course. Green Bay at New Orleans, and the Giants will be at St. Louis. And the doubleheader game, and John and I'll be in Dallas for the match between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
That's one that'll be a real shootout, won't it?
Always is, or certainly has been in recent years.
That umpire, he has to stand. He has to stand there and hold the ball with his feet so it doesn't blow away.
I guarantee you that headband he's got on is not for perspiration. In Clack, the Giants center. Wind still swirling around Bruner gets it outside in the direction of Rob Carpenter. Rams had a blitz going. Jim Youngblood on the coverage of Carpenter, and this strategy at least works in that the Giants will have to punt to the Rams against this vicious wind, and so maybe taking that timeout paid off.
Well, he wanted to take the timeout, then go with his substitution defense and blitz and maybe get a sack. And now, of course, the incomplete pass, the clock stops, and it will also stop at change of possession.
And the dangerous Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. This is Jennings standing at his own goal line. Rams do not try to block it. Jennings gets off a line shot again. Irvin will field, backs up, gets away from one giant tackler. Penalty marker goes down, and it'll chase the Rams backwards.
That may be an old-fashioned clip. You know, we're always seeing those blocking from the back above the waist. That one there may have been a clip. Nope, that's a new one.
By Lucius Smith, I believe. And so the Giants dig themselves out of a very serious hole with that kick and that clip.
On the run back, number 23, illegal push above the waist, first down.
From the back, Fred. See, he didn't say from the back. It's illegal push from the back. Let's see, we'll see it coming right in here in the screen, right there to the left. You see the push with the left arm. He had him, you know, that's the thing, when they can't cut him anymore and they get even with him, they tend to put their hands up there.
Now it's Gooman in motion. This is Hayden throwing, batted around, hit by George Martin. Right now for an update, let's swing you back to New York and to Brent Musburger.
Pat, the wind is not blowing nearly as severely down in Washington. The Eagles have come back out of the shotgun. Jaworski goes to Campfield, 26-yard touchdown. Franklin's extra point has the Eagles ahead by 1. Let's go back now to Pat Summerall.
And Brent, here the score is 7-0 Los Angeles with 1 minute 4 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Arnold in motion. Here's Hayden. Use that wind while you can. He throws outside to Wendell Tyler. Tyler slips one tackle, gets outside the 40 to the 41 before Brian Kelly takes him down. It'll be third down.
Right at the time that Pat Hayden threw that ball, because we just saw him get up there, he was hit by George Martin, and he really didn't see the completion. I'm surprised that the Rams, with 41 seconds, aren't hurrying up here, or in their passing, throwing it more up the field. They went for a little pass in the flat on second down, and on first down, they went for a screen. If you're going to use the wind, you ought to get that ball up into the wind and see if you can get a big one.
23 seconds left in the first quarter. They'll change ends. Taylor on a blitz this time. The pass is complete to Arnold. That'll be enough for a first down. Brian Kelly made the tackle. The Rams will move the sticks, however.
And that'll take the quarter up also. So now they're going to have to go against the wind. Watch this. They have good pass protection in there. See, they get Jeter going into the inside. Irv Pankey does. And then Pat Hayden has to have that little hole to step up and throw into the middle.
So that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing, and they'll change ends.
How does one become a member of the U.S. ski team? First, you have to be great on hills. Then you need the endurance to overcome tough obstacles cross-country. Finally, you have to earn your right to be called a champion. And then, and only then, will you be accepted to the United States ski team, like the Subaru On-Demand 4-wheel drive wagon, official car of the U.S. ski team.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
So long, fellas. Hey, Jim, how you doing? I'm hot, cold, thirsty. Call me a cab. 10 minutes, I'll have you back at the lodge. I can't make it. 10 minutes, I'll have you back at the lodge drinking a Lowenbrow. I can make it.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Where would I be without you guys?
Probably still out there in the snow somewhere.